Filing number 16-7970.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. I think LSU is going to make some big plays in the passing game coming up this fall. We'll talk about it in 15 minutes. Glenn West along in 30 minutes. Listen to a little bit of baseball podcast earlier today. The D1 folks went through their top 25. I'll give you thought on what they had to say about Jay Johnson's LSU squad. LSU's got a running back commitment. There are rule changes that are being discussed in college football. We'll discuss some of that in the second hour. Sharif Ishak talking Saints. So as you can tell, plenty to do. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
I think a lot of you that listen to me understand my working theory on the college football optimism calendar. And it's been adjusted a little bit based on a different signing day, a new transfer portal window. There are some things that aren't quite the way that they were for a long, long time, but the general premise of it still rings very true. In fact, we're not even done with the 2025 season yet. We've still got a game to play, but the optimism overdrive that I generally saved for a couple weeks in February, a little bit of the spring, and then heavy in August has kind of swung a little bit. And right now, January is optimism season for a lot of people. And I would suggest, just my read of the room here, that there's a lot of people in this fan base, in this market, in this listenership that are feeling pretty good about where LSU's football team is headed in 2026 and program is headed under Lane Kiffin. And I think that's great. I think it's awesome. I share a lot of those sentiments. I think some of the things that have happened over the course of the last 6 weeks have been awesome for LSU. I think Lane Kiffin has a chance to be a great head coach here in Baton Rouge. I think him bringing the majority of his Ole Miss offensive staff that has produced so much great offense is great for LSU. I think it makes it extremely likely that LSU is very competent to excellent on offense when Lane Kiffin is the head coach here. I think keeping Blake Baker here and him suggesting that he's on the Kirby Smart track and that he's not just going to jump to a group of five job and he wants to take one of those big jobs that won't involve his family moving twice in 3 years is an awesome thing for LSU. And in so keeping Blake Baker, you keep Corey Raymond and you keep Kevin Peoples and you keep Jake Olson. I think all that's awesome. I think going to get the number one quarterback in the transfer portal is fantastic. I think the fact that you've gone and nabbed a ton of high-level wide receivers and you've now got 5 running backs is great. DJ Pickett's coming back. Trey'Dez Green's coming back. Harlan Berry's coming back. Whit Weeks is coming back. Tamarcus Cooley's coming back. You get what I'm saying. I understand a lot of reason for optimism here. And I'm on board with everything I just said. There's not one thing I just said that I'm even leaning the other way on. I think all of that is excellent. I have a concern right now about 2026 that if you just focus on all the other stuff, you may not be as concerned about. And it's not something that I've unearthed here. This is something that everyone is talking about, but I find in my Twitter mentions and in text message threads and in searching on message boards and like looking at the pulse of the fan base, I find that offensive line's being a little bit swept under the rug. And I'll just say that I'm concerned about it. And then I'll lay out kind of why, and you can just draw whatever conclusions you want to have. Here's where LSU's offensive line sits today. And keep in mind, I don't have a massive problem with a lot of the guys that LSU had on the roster moving on. Like, it didn't work. This is what the portal is for. You got a new offensive line coach. You allow that coach and the head coach and the general manager to go identify talent, bring it in, put together a group. And if it doesn't include a lot of the guys from last year, so be it. So what do you have? Well, you got 5 guys coming back. You've got Braylon Moore, huge. Talked about it yesterday. That's important. That's your center. Okay, that's a working point. Weston Davis, he was your right tackle. He struggled, but he's a freshman. He's a basketball player 4 years ago. You can't teach 6'7". You can't teach basketball feet. He's got every opportunity to improve with that incredible talent base, but let's call it what it is. As a freshman, he struggled. You got Solomon Thomas. Well, he didn't play this year. He got hurt in camp, didn't play. 5-star, great measurables, didn't play. Then you got the Bordelon brothers, who have been depth pieces in your program. One's older than the other. One's been around 4 years. One's been around 1 year. But you get the point. Depth pieces. You had a really struggling offensive line this year, and it was not suggested that either one of those guys was going to come in and be a factor in that group that struggled. So that's the 5 guys you got back. Veteran center, returning right tackle who struggled, true freshman going to a redshirt freshman, and Solomon Thomas that didn't play, and the Bordelon brothers who are depth pieces. That's what you return. What have you brought in the transfer portal? Well, you got Darren Stray, who was a redshirt player at Kentucky last year. He was a 4-star recruit. He's 6'7", but he didn't play. You got William Satterwhite, who was a backup at Tennessee last year. Highly thought of recruit. Did play a little bit in his redshirt freshman year, but it was in mop-up duty largely. Good insurance policy, I think, for Braylon Moore, but not a proven SEC player, a guy that 2 SEC staffs now have thought was good enough to put on their roster. You got Jaquan Sprinkle, who you bring in from the FCS, from the MEAC. You've got Jacoby Jones, who's a junior college player. Those are your 4 ads right now. Bench player at Kentucky, bench player at Tennessee, FCS player, JUCO player. That's 4. So with the 5 guys that you had, those are the 4 you brought in. That's 9. And then you've got 2 guys in this class, Bryson Martinez and Ryan Moret, who are going to be true freshmen. That's 11. So you're short on numbers, and I think short on proven talent. That's where my concern comes in. Now, look, I told you last week in a segment, I said, look, all we have to do is look right down the street at the Saints to find examples of guys off the beaten path on the offensive line that have turned into great players. Ramon Bushrod, Taron Armstead, Jari Evans. Like, this happens all the time. And if you implicitly trust the LSU staff in these evaluations, great. I have no reason not to. Ole Miss wasn't trotting a bunch of 5-stars out there on the offensive line the last few years. They ran it down people's throats at times. So you can certainly do that. I'm just kind of looking and suggesting concern. Not like panic, not like disaster, not like not fixable, just I'm concerned about it. But the portal's not closed yet. So where else can they look? Where else can you find guys to come in on the offensive line and immediately add to this group? Well, it's 2 spots for me right now. The first is Devin Harper. Devin Harper was a 4-star recruit from Shreveport, went to Calvary, guy that LSU had committed on the previous staff. And if you look at him as a high school player, he was thought of as a top 10, actually top 7 interior offensive lineman in the country by On3 and 24/7. Coming out, 6'4", 300 pounds. Ole Miss listed him north of that, closer to 315 this year. And I listened to 2 Ole Miss beat writers today suggest that he was the likely starting left tackle for Ole Miss in 2026. Likely starting left tackle. That is a little bit different than some of the guys that you've brought in who were considered depth pieces or just very, very young. Harper's young too. But the heir apparent at left tackle for Ole Miss moving forward. That's a guy I think it's reasonable to suggest you could get in here, plug and play. And it's a guy committed to LSU and then committed to the staff that is now working at LSU. Keep in mind, different offensive line coach. I get it. But Kiffin, Weiss, McDonald, Smith, offensive side of the ball, scheme, system, fit, all that. Practices, program, the whole thing. So he's committed to the home state school once, obviously liked some things about it, and is committed to this staff and played for this staff for a year. That's a guy I would feel great about bringing in. And I think you could plug him in as a starter, and then all of a sudden I can work off at least 2 pieces settled If not 3, if you want to count Weston Davis, you can count him. And if all of a sudden I've got 3 pieces settled, well, that makes me feel better about just having to plug in those 2 spots with the rest of the guys that I've listed. And then you go to the real prize. Then you go to the difference maker. Then you go to, well, this would change my feeling on everything. If they can add Jordan Seaton, you change my conversation, you change my tune real quick. Now, there's probably a lot of you that are listening to me going, who is that? Probably a lot of you listening that are going, duh, obviously. If you're in the first camp there, no idea who Jordan Seaton is, he was a 5-star plus by On3, went to Colorado. He's played there a couple years, has played exceptionally well. He is massive, he's got big feet, and he's got an opportunity to be a first-round pick in next spring's draft. You bring him in to play left tackle, I change my tune real quick. Because now all of a sudden, I've got a first-round pick left tackle. I've got a proven commodity at center. Might have Devin Harper. That's a guy that you plug in and he could play. And now I've got Weston Davis, Solomon Thomas, Bordelon brothers, and 4 transfer portal ads, albeit not proven, but 4 guys, and I'm trying to fill 1 spot. If LSU adds Devin Harper and Jordan Seaton to this group, all of a sudden, I will be talking about a change in expectation. They field the line they currently have. No Harper, no Seaton, which is impossible because there's only 11 of them. That's just not a reasonable size of an offensive line. You have to add more guys. But if they went into a season with these 11, I would be petrified of LSU's offensive line play. Petrified. I would not, in my opinion, feel that was close to good enough to compete at the highest level of the SEC. My opinion. You add Harper and Seaton, I change that immediately. I say, yeah, I think they're going to be really good on offense and they got a chance to be really good on defense. This can be a really good team. Now, the schedule's brutal, and that's a different discussion. I'm not having a schedule discussion today. I'm having a personnel discussion today. I'm talking about the offense, and I'm talking about a group on the offensive line that they have made some strides. They have added some pieces. I'm just a little bit skeptical of the pieces they have as far as plug-and-play SEC-ready guys. And I think there's a chance that Harper and Seaton are significantly better than what they've brought in. A chance. I'm not a talent evaluator. I'm not a scout. I'm not a general manager. I'm just giving my opinion. Right now, I'm a little scared of LSU's offensive line. It can change if you can make some additions. Now, I think there's a real good chance Devin Harper can come to LSU. Seaton, I have no idea. One nugget that was shared online is that when Seaton was being recruited, he was being recruited by everyone. He's a 5-star plus. Alabama was in the mix. And Eric Wolford, who's LSU's offensive line coach right now, was his main recruiter at Alabama. How well that relationship was forged, I have no idea. But if you can pull that guy in, that's a difference maker. Left tackle, that's a difference maker. So it's a concern of mine. I think they're going to address it moving forward. If they can address it with the right pieces, you can change my tune in a big, big way. Hopefully, that's LSU's plan. Right now, they've done a really, really good job in the transfer portal. They really have. They have gone out and gotten a lot of different bodies at a lot of different positions to fill a lot of different needs, which they had to do. But the offensive line is that one spot that I find is still lagging a little bit behind. See if they can make a change to that. That's our opening drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC. All right, I want to talk about Will Levitt. And one of the things I've found in some research with him and these wide receivers that makes me really, really excited about next year's offense. Talk about that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Speaking of excited, you should be excited. Baseball season's around the corner. So is softball season. If there is a youth baseball player under your roof, a youth softball player under your roof, bring them by Marucci. What a resource for young people in this city, in this market. Get on by and take some hacks in an indoor cage. It's useful. Get ready for the season, especially when it's freezing cold on days like today. You don't want to be outside in the cage. You can go inside in the cage. Get ready, swing the stick a little bit later on this spring. Also, you can go take a tour of where the official bat of Major League Baseball is made, 1,200 of them every single day. So whether you're looking for fun, whether you're looking for an activity, whether you're looking for a chance to improve your game, Marucci is a spot you can do all of that. They ask you to step into the heart of it, the heart of Major League Baseball. What's more baseball than a bat? The official bat of Major League Baseball, made right here in Baton Rouge. They cranked this thing up 22 years ago in a backyard shed in 2004, and to see what it's grown into is truly amazing. So go check them out. It's It's Marucci. You can see him online and book a tour at MarucciSports.com. It's MarucciSports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
Lockmeyer Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmeyer Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Talk with Glenn West, Go 24/7, coming up in about 12 minutes. I'm assuming Glenn was there with Matt McMahon a little bit earlier today. They revealed an update on De'Don Thomas's status, still in question for tomorrow against Kentucky. We'll talk about that, and certainly transfer portal as well with Glenn, so we'll do that coming up in about 12 minutes. I've been doing some research on Sam Leavitt and kind of digging into what he did at Arizona State the last couple of years. I've got a piece up at LouisianaSports.net today called Portal Profile. It goes over the knowns, the objective facts, the fit here at LSU, and the kind of my projection for what Sam Leavitt becomes here at LSU. And I'll be very honest with you. I'm going to work off of the assumption that a 21-year-old, otherwise healthy, young, athletic body is going to respond well to modern medicine. You can call that foolish. You can say that's presumptive. And I wouldn't call you wrong. But until I see that he cannot play the way that he once did, I'm just going to work off the assumption that he can. And if we need to amend that based on lack of practice time in August or based on lack of production in games early in the season, we can do that. But for right now, I'm going to suggest that Sam Leavitt's going to be a pretty healthy dude that can make throws, make plays with his feet, and pilot the LSU offense to his full potential in September of next year. That's my assumption. I'm working off of it as an assumption, not a fact, but that's where I am to start this conversation. And there's something in my research and looking around that I really found to be encouraging. And I realized that when you look at LSU's offense in 2025 and then look to what Sam Leavitt has done and what Lane Kiffin has done, you're really comparing apples, oranges, and bananas here, because LSU's offense last year stunk and Lane Kiffin's offenses are always great, and Sam Levin's been a very productive player. But just one of these statistics that I think hurt LSU greatly this year is the lack of explosive plays. Like, Ole Miss led the nation in 20-plus yard pass plays. They had 75 of them this year. 75. LSU was 105th in the country in that category with 31. Less than half. Less than half. Now, I realize Ole Miss played an extra game, but 2 extra games, actually. But still, less than half. That's something that has to change, and I believe that it will, because if you look at Ole Miss and you look at not just this past year with Chamblas and that group, look at 2024. Same category. Ole Miss was second in the country. They had 79. Only Texas had more with 80. Then you look at 2023, a year prior. LSU led the country, but Ole Miss was third. They had 69. So this is, in the last 3 years, Ole Miss has been in the top 3 all 3 years. First, second, third. And now you bring in Leavitt. And as a redshirt freshman at Arizona State, when he played a full season, he set the Arizona State freshman record for total offense. It was the 8th best in school history, and one of the reasons was because they were able to get the ball down the field. He had 8 pass plays of 50-plus yards that led the Big 12. And he did this, leading the Big 12 in chunk plays down the field, without putting the ball in harm's way. Pro Football Focus only tagged him, this is in 2024, with 5 turnover-worthy throws on the season. You would think of a group that really stretches the field and really pushes the ball down the field, the ball would be in harm's way a lot. It wasn't for Leavitt. He, 1, took care of the ball, and 2, hit on those big plays to lead the Big 12 in that number. And then you think about pairing the coach who's been in the top 3 in the country in big plays through the air the last 3 years, a quarterback who hit a lot of big plays, and then you start to look at the wide receivers that LSU has targeted in this transfer portal cycle. And they found them in some obscure places, I would suggest, but they have something in common. Jackson Harris, it's at Hawaii, I get it, but he averaged 19.7 yards per catch. Jace Brown, big-time playmaker at Kansas State, averaged 16.6 yards per catch. He was over 17 last year. Trey Brown at Old Dominion, 20 yards per catch. You know that Trey Wilson from Florida, when healthy, can be explosive. He was a 5-star recruit. You know Nick Anderson was a big play guy now 3 years ago, which is saying something, but 3 years ago at Oklahoma. You've got big bodies and guys with a track record of making big plays. Some of them are just winning down the field with speed. Some of them are making guys miss. But I don't care how you make a 50-yard play happen. Just make them happen. I don't care how you average 20 yards per catch. Just average 20 yards per catch. And these are the types of players that Lane Kiffin is targeting. This is an interesting thing that I'm curious to see play out over Lane Kiffin's time at LSU. Because one way to get guys who average a bunch of yards and put up big plays is to go get Jeremiah Smith and go get Jamar Chase and go get Malik Neighbors and go get Odell Beckham Jr. and go get these big-time monster recruits that come in and immediately produce huge plays because of their immense talent. And the other way is to find guys who were quote-unquote diamonds in the rough who can make those plays and have those kinds of traits, but maybe a little bit under the radar. Like, to make a Major League Baseball analogy, because you're operating on basically no salary cap here in college football, and you don't in Major League Baseball, you can either go find the big, huge, high-priced free agent, or you can play a little bit of money ball. And Lane Kiffin has kind of had to play a little bit of money ball because you can't sign the 5-star recruits at Ole Miss. He just hasn't signed them. And I'm curious if when he gets a full cycle under his belt, if he can sign these big-time high school players. I mean, obviously Jabari Mack's a nice get, but he was committed to the previous staff. Or if he is going to go to the portal and get guys from New Mexico and get guys from Old Dominion and Hawaii and where you've seen him shopping for these guys. Now, going to Kansas State and getting a big-time player there is not exactly bargain bin shopping, but it's interesting. You look at LSU's guys' average yard per catch this year. Berrien Brown, 10. Kyle Parker, 10. Bauer Sharp, 10. Aaron Anderson, 12.1. Xavion Thomas, 12. Nobody up there near 20. And you realize that LSU wasn't stretching the field. They were throwing a bunch of screen passes. But you could not get the ball down the field. And Lane Kiffin has identified some guys who have won down the field. He's got a quarterback who's won down the field, and he knows how to win down the field. And I think, assuming that the offensive line holds up, which I talked about for 15 minutes in the first segment, if you missed it, they should be able to win down the field. Now, I would have told you in August of last year with Garrett Nussmeier and Chris Hilton and Nick Anderson and Aaron Anderson and Berrien Brown and the group of guys that you brought in here that you would have won down the field consistently, and you never did. So nothing's for sure. But, man, like these are the ingredients to the gumbo. You have a quarterback that can do it, a coach that can do it, and wide receivers that are doing it. Now, obviously, a lot of these wide receivers aren't doing it against Texas A&M and Alabama and Texas. But in this day and age, you're trying to find guys that have traits, and these are the traits. So as I've been combing through these numbers and looking through these highlight tapes and trying to see what pieces fit together in what way, this is something that became very, very evident, that all of these guys have a history of getting big plays. And those change games, change scoreboards, change the energy level in stadiums, and they help you win. Ole Miss is a testament to that this year. A lot of big plays, a lot of wins. LSU, not a lot of big plays, not a lot of wins. I love what Lane Kiffin is putting together from that perspective with this transfer portal class and then this roster assembly. I think it's very, very, very encouraging. So that's a lot of LSU talk for the first 30 minutes. We'll continue it. We're going to talk to Glenn West. I got a little bit of a baseball nugget coming at the end of this hour, so stay tuned for that in about 15 minutes. We'll talk to Glenn when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Fabry Chevrolet and GMC. The entire inventory is online. You can find it all at FabryChevrolet.com. That is FabryChevrolet.com. You want a new car? They got them. Want pre-owned? They got them. Huge selection, and it's just a short drive away or one click away at Fabry Chevrolet on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Under new ownership since October 1st with the Fabry family, but you know the Fabry family. They've been here 35 years doing business in Baton Rouge. You get great customer service, get a wonderful service after the sale, and you also get a pleasant buying experience. That's the promise they make you there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You're looking for a Chevy Suburban? They got it. Chevy Tahoe? They got it. Want a truck? They got Silverados. You can also find the GMC Sierra, GMC Yukon. How about a Denali? They got those up there in St. Francisville as well. On Highway 61, go by and see them if you're in the area. Make the short drive or check out that inventory and see what you like online. It's at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
D1 baseball pegged LSU as the number 2 team in the country in their preseason poll. I got a thought on that to close out the hour coming up in 15 minutes. For now, we'll stick to football and basketball with our guy Glenn West, senior writer over at Go 24/7. He's with us on Tuesdays. Glenn, how are you?
Doing great, Hunt. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Probably a little bit better than the folks in LSU's basketball program at this current juncture. 0-3 with Kentucky coming in tomorrow. And Matt McMahon just met with the media and discussed De'Don Thomas's availability. What can you tell us about the Tiger point guard at this point?
Yeah, still a lot more of the same. He's still listed as day-to-day. They're going to check him out in practice today. He's been ramping up a little bit more in practice, it sounds like, but he hasn't been cleared for full contact yet. I would probably say he's questionable to doubtful to play if I had to just guess and put an educated guess on it. But, they're hopeful that he can return sooner than later. But, I think for McMahon, and for this program, they need him back ASAP because their offense has just fallen off of a cliff, and some of their offensive issues have led to, pronounced defensive issues as well, as we've seen in these last couple of first halves where LSU's just gotten off to really poor starts. So I'm not expecting great news on the De'Don Thomas injury report, but we'll see if today's practice maybe changes the tune on that a little bit.
What chance do you give him against Kentucky without him?
I think they can win this game. I mean, Kentucky is not the Kentucky of, past years where they've been just really, really a standout program. They've had their struggles this year. I think they've had their struggles defensively. But, look, De'Don Thomas is the floor general of this thing, and LSU's offense just has not been very good, without him these last 3 games. So, you're going to have to see some lineup combinations that are a little bit different. I think that's something that I took away from McMahon's press conference today. Maybe not necessarily the starters, but certainly I think guys like Mozzie Mosley could certainly see more expanded reps and opportunity on the floor tomorrow night. You're going to need Jalen Reese to play well, not turn the ball over, and then you're going to have to get your front court to play better. I mean, Mike Nwoko and Markel Sutton. They just have to be better for LSU. Sutton had a better second half against Vanderbilt on the road, but Nwoko, I think he's averaged 6 points a game over these last 2 games. They have to get double-digit numbers from him. He has to be more of a presence in the post, and I think that's a big thing that they've been working on these last couple of days. It's just a ways to get him involved in the offense again. McMahon mentioned the screens, lots of different screening actions they can put Nwoko in to maybe free him up, but somebody has to be able to complement Max McKinnon more consistently than what they've had so far to this point.
How much water can they realistically take on without De'Don Thomas and still feel like they can make a run when he comes back? It just feels like you're running out of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, not much more. I mean, they're off to an 0-3 start. They play, I think at Arkansas and at Florida next week. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Those are 2 road games that you're not going to be favored in. So you've got to handle your business here in the PMAC. They've already lost one that they probably should have won against South Carolina. But Missouri and Kentucky are very beatable teams. So I think you have to win 1, if not 2, to really feel okay about your opportunity here going forward. And I don't know that they're going to have the firepower to do that offensively. They're going to have to really step up and get a lot of different help from a lot of different guys to really survive here in the short term without Thomas if he's not able to go.
Glenn West, senior writer, Go 24/7 is our guest. Let's transition over to football. Things were a little thin at running back as of 2 weeks ago, and they don't feel that way now. How do you feel about where LSU's running back rotation sits now that they've added 3 and then brought Caden Durham back?
Yeah, major kudos there for LSU to get Durham back in the picture. He was not one that I thought they had a great chance of convincing to come back, but as things unfolded here over the last couple weeks, and you got Harlan Berry to return, you got certainly the decision from Kawan Lacey to stay at Ole Miss. I think LSU had to reevaluate their options, and look, at the end of the day, Durham entered the transfer portal, and he's been a top 10 portal running back since he entered. So technically, if you just look at the raw numbers there, he's somebody that you should want as an LSU team back into the program as one of the better running backs available right now in the portal. So really good job by getting him back on board. He had a very productive conversation over the weekend with Kevin Smith, the new running backs coach. And then, I think it was a really big pickup today. They get Dylan Jones from Wisconsin. He's a guy that has some Big Ten experience. He's, rushed for 63 yards and a touchdown against Michigan this last year. Rushed for 69 yards the very next week against a very stingy Iowa defense. So he's somebody that has a little bit of experience in his back pocket. He's shifty. I think he's a guy that can break tackles in between the line of scrimmage. And I think that they are looking at this room now in a much better spot than maybe they did even 3 or 4 days ago. I mean, it's been a really quick turnaround, and obviously Harlan Berry will lead that group, I think, going into next year. But they have some good complementary pieces that I'm excited to see in this scheme and in this offense.
How do you feel about where the offensive line sits right now?
Yeah, that's my major concern. I mean, I think that they've done a good job of retaining Braylon Moore, retaining Weston Davis, who I think, look, last staff was very high on his long-term potential, and obviously this staff is high on his long-term potential too, or else they wouldn't have tried so hard to convince him to come back and not enter the portal. So I think that's, a good sign there that if they get him developed, he could be a piece for you. Solomon Thomas still hasn't announced what he's going to do yet, but he's a very talented interior lineman that I think now that he's healthy could give you something here. I honestly don't know a whole ton about some of these guys that they brought in just because there's not a whole lot of experience. When you talk about William Satterwhite from Tennessee, or the guy they got from Kentucky the other day. I mean, there's just not a whole lot of proven production right now with this group with some of the new additions that they've made. We'll see if that changes here over the next days and weeks to come, but it's going to be a major duty for Eric Wolford, the offensive line coach, and certainly James Craig, who they brought back over from Ole Miss as well. Those guys are going to have to get in the lab and develop these guys over the next 9 months, because I just don't think that you can really sit here and say that there is a definitive starting lineup in this room right now outside of maybe Braylon Moore at center. They've got 2 tackle positions they've got to fill between now and September, and then 2 guard positions that are still very much up in the air as well.
Got a thought on Sam Levitt? I guess we haven't talked about that, and we haven't. He hasn't been officially with LSU since we spoke. So, what's your thought there?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was the long-term target here. I think really going back to mid-December, you kind of started to hear buzz that if he were to enter the transfer portal, LSU would be a program that would have major interest in him. Obviously, they took their eye off the ball there for a second, and almost kind of got themselves into trouble there. But I thought it was really important that Lane Kiffin made that decision to fly out on Friday in between his Tennessee and Miami visits to kind of ease those waters. And look, I think the big concern here with Levitt is that he's not going to be here for you in the spring and probably into some of summer as well. This is a very slow healing injury that he has, and then once it's healed, you've of course got to be careful with the rehab as well to not further compound anything. So it's a risk that LSU's taking here, but I think it's a risk worth taking because I think this is a potential 2-year guy for the Tigers if he sticks around and has a good 2026 season, and then can maybe build towards something in 2027 as well. But he's the legit guy, the dual threat guy, the guy that you turn on the tape and you say that guy can thrive in a Lane Kiffin offense. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. He's got a lot of weapons around him, as we've talked about. On the wide receiver core, you've got Trinidad Green, you've got Harlan Berry. This is an offense, at least from a weapons and quarterback perspective, that is, I think, has the chance to be pretty lethal in 2026 with this coaching staff and this scheme.
Is there a spot outside of offensive line you specifically think they need to address pretty quickly with a bigger name?
I would look at the edge rusher spot on defense. I mean, I like Jordan Ross. I think he took a nice step forward here as a sophomore. You've got Gabriel Relaford coming back off of injury. I like him. But there's just not a whole lot of proven production behind those two right now. And, that was the thing that LSU made sure of that they had plenty of last year at this time, with Pyburn and with Patrick Payton and Jamari Butler, bringing in guys with multiple years of starting experience and double-digit starts over a 2 or 3 year span. They don't have a ton of that right now in that room. So, maybe a couple of these freshmen can be ready, a couple of these younger players can develop, but if there's an opportunity to go add another impact edge rusher, I would be all over that if I were LSU.
Looking for team coverage, recruiting coverage. Glenn's got you covered over there at Go 24/7. He's with us on Tuesday. See you in the PMAC tomorrow, Glenn. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Hunt.
I want to remind you about our friends at One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Vaughn and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. They don't have to do a whole full-scale renovation, even though they can. They just did one for our guy Brian Haldane, morning shows on Talk 107.3. But you can do something small, like a tub-to-shower conversion. You take out that tub, put in a new walk-in shower, change the aesthetic of your bathroom, change the functionality of your bathroom, and maybe use the space a little bit more effectively. If you've got a standing shower right now and a tub, and you want to use that tub space for a shower, make that standing shower into a linen closet. You can do that. David and his team are happy to help you with all of that. But looking for something small, David told me that, look, the tub-to-shower conversion can be done 3 to 5 days. Not super invasive, not super expensive. And they do have some financing availability as well, 0% up to 18 months if you qualify. So go check them out at onebathandclosets.com. All right, to close out the hour, I've got some D1 baseball sound. The gang from D1 baseball, it's Aaron Fitt, Mike Rooney, and then Joe Healy, Kendall Rogers. They went through their top 25. You know by now that LSU is number 2 on that list. I'm going to let you hear what they had to say about the Tigers here early on and kind of give my thoughts on it. So we'll do that to close out the hour when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. 116 years later, they are still here. No matter where you're listening to me, whether that's here in Baton Rouge, over in Dutchtown, Jones Creek, up towards Hammond and St. Tammany, St. Tangipahoa, maybe down St. John, St. James, or in Lafourche or Terrebonne Parish. No matter where you are in Southeast Louisiana, there is a branch near you. There's 25 of them, 25 branches near you, and their management team averages 25 years with the bank. People begin to work there. They're part of your community. They stay there, and they stay in your community. Every decision that's made on commercial loans, on residential loans, is made right here in Southeast Louisiana. Every call that's fielded is fielded in Southeast Louisiana. It's a community bank with the resources to do everything that you need because they've got those 25 locations. It's First American Bank and Trust. Stop in and see them at First American Bank and Trust.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up hour number one. In hour two, we're going to be real busy here. LSU added a running back in Dylan Jones from Wisconsin. I'll tell you about that and kind of the entirety of the LSU running back situation at 2 o'clock. Got a little bit of grab bag at 2:15. Trinidad Chamblas, his attorney Tom Mars is making some waves on social media. There are some proposed rule changes by college football coaches earlier this week. Once De'Don Thomas's availability, Mike Tomlin has stepped down as the head coach of the Steelers. If you missed that news, which has happened within the hour, he's done after 18 years in Pittsburgh. Sharif Ishak's going to be with us at 2:30 talking Saints. So lots and lots to do over the course of the next hour and 15 minutes. But I wanted to finish with a little bit of LSU baseball here at the end of the hour. Generally speaking, we play shorter sound bites. That's the way you would like to keep things. But I felt like in this instance, it was okay to go a little bit over a minute here. This is from the D1 Baseball Preseason Rankings podcast. Mike Rooney, Joe Healy, Aaron Fitt, and Kendall Rogers sat down and went through their top 25. They hit them pretty quickly, and I just clipped the LSU portion of that. They've got the Tigers ranked second in the country, and this is Aaron Fitt from D1 Baseball talking about why LSU was ranked so high.
I'm going to say right off the top, it's a different team. You know, I mean, no more Kate Anderson, Anthony Irons, and Chase Shores, like the three big guns on that staff. Three of probably the three biggest guns on that staff in Omaha. I mean, Case and Evans also was in that group. Casey Evans is back now, and he's a sophomore, a rising sophomore that I expect to follow in kind of the same trajectory that Anderson took, which was, impact freshman going to be a superstar sophomore. I mean, it's legit. I think first team All-America kind of ability, just with the 4-pitch mix and the impact bat missing stuff and the pitchability. It's all pretty special. So I'm not worried about the Friday night piece. I know he's got to prove it as a Friday night guy. It's a different role, but he is legit, just like Anderson was legit. Sometimes you just know. The lineup is really good. I know there's no more Jared Jones, no more Daniel Dickinson. Those are two important pieces, but Garrett Curiel's a superstar. That's two names, Runes. Monster Milam. I mean, straw that stirs the drink, just heart and soul. Give me a guy like that at shortstop on my team, and I'm going to feel pretty good about my building everything else around him. That's the guy. That's the real glue guy, outstanding defender, energy guy, leader. And then you talk about winning the off season. I mean, once again, gosh, they just do a great job with the pieces that they bring in. And Trent Caraway from Oregon State, big time pick to click for me. I think he's going to have a huge year now after as a junior. I mean, he's certainly shown the talent before. He needs to make some adjustments. They felt confident they could get him to make those adjustments. And Zach York, I'll just throw one more name out there from Grand Canyon. Just a big old donkey from the left side with hitability and power that they're expecting big things from. So I think they did a good job replacing what they needed to replace.
All right, that's Aaron Fitt talking about LSU's baseball team. A couple things to react to there. I think it's reasonable to question a new Friday night guy who's never been a Friday night guy. I think it's reasonable to question that. I also think it's reasonable to suggest that Kason Evans has every bit of ability that you need. Pitched in the biggest moments for LSU last year. Obviously, he came in and really saved that Little Rock game. Kept Little Rock where they were. I think he struck out 9 or 10 in a row at one point in that Monday Little Rock game when LSU restarted the rain game that Ianson had started game 2 in the Omaha winners bracket against UCLA. Evans came in and was fantastic in that spot as well. So reason to believe that he's got every bit of bat missing ability and intestinal fortitude to go out there in the biggest moments and be that guy. But you want to see it, and so you'll want to see it. Cade Anderson was essentially a nobody at this time last year. We told you that we thought he was going to be the first guy, which didn't know if he was going to be the Friday guy, and he turned into that, and I think Kason Evans can be that as well. Another piece to that is look at Monster Milam. He had a bad year last year. Like, Stephen Milam had a bad offensive year. He had a brilliant postseason. He destroyed West Virginia and was great in Omaha. But he had a bad year. He got pinch hit for in the SEC tournament. LSU was struggling against Ole Miss, couldn't get anything going offensively, and Jay Johnson took the bat out of Stephen Milam's hand. And I think that got to Stephen Milam a little bit. He said, really? That's what's going to happen around here? Hold on. And it snapped into gear. But my hope is that he is the same player he was for those 3 weeks of the postseason for the whole season this year, because you're going to need that. You need that guy who's a proven bat from both sides, who was awesome as a freshman. When they went to Chapel Hill, he was among their best hitters at that point in that regional setting. And for 11 weeks last year, he was in the deep freeze. So he needs to come out of that and be much better. I have no concerns about Curiel. I think Brown's going to be better. I think Aaron Beatty takes a step forward. I think there are a lot of guys that were on the team last year. I think Stanfield is what he is, which is completely serviceable in the role they're asking him to play. Not going to be a first-team All-American, but he can play good defense in left field, hit some line drives, steal some bases, and hit towards the bottom of the lineup. But Milam's got to be better than he was. I need Stephen Milam hitting second or third on this lineup, not buried down there in the 7 hole like he was for a lot of last year. And that's somebody that Fitt talked about and thinks a ton of. But yeah, and then you got the transfers, and Trent Caraway I think is going to get the first shot at third base, and he needs to be the guy that he was projected to be when he left high school as a huge recruit, and that he was in the regional last year where he just lit it on fire, and not the guy that he was for most of the season when he wasn't very good in the regular season. And Caraway had a bad year last year too, but he's got massive physical tools, and Jay Johnson's taken some transfers in and taken them up a notch offensively. I don't have a lot of doubts about Zach York. I saw a lot in the fall. I'm not going to say I saw enough in the fall because it's fall baseball, but his bat-to-ball skills, the ability to hit the ball the other way, and the power behind it. Like, y'all will see him in time if you haven't yet. You can't miss Zach York. He weighs 300 pounds. You don't see a lot of 300-pound baseball players. But if you just take that out of the equation and just look at him swing the bat and look at the exit velocity and the way he compresses the ball and the way he uses the whole field and the way that some power shows up as well, like, he's a really good college hitter. And I think he's going to be a really good college hitter when that time comes in SEC play. I don't have a big worry about his floor. I have some worries about Caraway's floor because his floor is striking out a ton and hitting 240-something. And at that point, he probably loses his job if that's the case. My sincere hope is that that's not what you see, and you see a guy that really plays well all year long. But I think LSU warrants preseason number one consideration because I don't love UCLA's pitching. I know that they brought in a potential ace. I know that they added a transfer as well. The guys that I saw in Omaha, I didn't love, and we'll see what they are this year. Their position player group is good, but I'm curious about the pitching, and I think LSU's talent level is, and then the coaching staff has earned the benefit of the doubt. But I don't care at all that LSU's not preseason number one. If you ask my opinion, I would give it, but my care level on what anybody else thinks is 0 at this point. So that's it for hour number one. We'll come back and talk a little bit of football, the running back situation. We'll do that after SportsCenter.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. Jonathan Carver and his team are phenomenal folks to deal with on the insurance side of things. I think it's always a good time to think about hurricane season when it's not hurricane season. And it is firmly not hurricane season. But we know one is coming. So why not take this low-pressure moment to make sure your property policy reads the way that it should? Because we have hurricanes down here. Is your building limit set properly? Is your business interruption limit set properly? How'd you come up with that number? Is there a co-insurance penalty? What's your deductible? All these things are things that sometimes we don't look at. You just look at the premium at the renewal. Right now, you know you're not going to get a hurricane that's going to blow through. Not right now. So take a chance to get some second eyes on that insurance program and make sure that when that season rolls around late this summer, you're ready to go. The Highland Insurance Group is happy to help you out with that. Check them out online at HighlandIG.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Massive breaking NFL news from ESPN's Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler. A rare head coaching vacancy in Pittsburgh. After 19 seasons, Mike Tomlin stepping down as Steelers coach, so the team is searching for only its fourth head coach since 1969. ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano.
They do have a type. Mike Tomlin was 34 when they hired him. His predecessor, Bill Cowher, was 34 when they hired him. His predecessor, Chuck Noll, was 38. The Steelers are looking for a young future star at head coach that they believe can be there, 15, 20 years and help build and maintain a program.
Because he resigned while still under contract, Pittsburgh retains Tomlin's coaching rights and could negotiate compensation if he takes an NFL coaching job before the end of the 2027 season. There are currently 9 NFL head coaching openings. The Chargers fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman. LA scored just 3 points in Sunday's AFC wildcard loss. NBA Maverick star Anthony Davis expected to undergo surgery to repair ligament damage in his left hand and miss several months, reports ESPN's Shams Charania.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday. I'll tell you which team eliminated from Wild Card Weekend is headed in the right direction. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you hanging out with us, Sharif Ishak, in 30 minutes. Also a reminder, if you're looking for something to do this evening, looking forward to getting out to Court to Table tonight, 8 o'clock sports trivia on Burbank, so would love to have y'all out. Got a good thing going there. You can win $25 gift cards. There's 5 rounds, and every first place gets a $25 gift card. So you're talking about 5 times 25. I'm not a genius mathematician, but that's $125 in gift cards up for grab. Plus, if you like to play pickleball, second place for every round gets 30 minutes free on a pickleball court, a little gift card for it. So it's a great environment, great food, awesome drinks. It doesn't take you all night. We start at 8 o'clock. We're out of there by 9:15, 9:20. So you want to come by and play some sports trivia tonight, come by yourself, grab a team, make an outing of it on this Tuesday. Court to Table on Burbank Sports Trivia this and every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Looking forward to getting out there. All right, let's start hour number 2 with some LSU football talk. When Lane Kiffin was hired, I think a lot of people were looking at this and going, oh, man, he's bringing Trinidad Chamblas. He's bringing Kejuan Lacey. They're coming to Baton Rouge. This is going to be awesome. And that wasn't an outlandish thought, right? A lot of times, coaches go from one place to the next and players follow. And we saw Matt McMahon take the job at LSU, and he brought 3 guys from Murray State. Trey Hannibal came with him. KJ Williams came with him. Juice Williams came with him. You saw Jay Johnson take the job here, and here came Riley Cooper, and Jacob Berry came. Like, that happens all the time. So you figure, oh, well, here comes Lane Kiffin. He's going to bring Trinidad Chamblas and Kejuan Lacey. Well, that didn't happen. And Kejuan Lacey was a really appealing piece to add to the LSU football program because he's a damn good running back. But when that didn't happen, you needed to figure out your running back spot. And there was a lot of concern, and probably warranted concern, that Harlem Berry could leave with Frank Wilson. Harlem Berry has known Frank Wilson his entire life. Frank Wilson knew Harlem Berry's parents before Harlem Berry was born. He's a New Orleans guy. He plays running back. Like, yeah, could head up to Ole Miss. That's a reasonable thought that it could happen. And LSU made sure it didn't. However, Juwan Johnson, portal. Caleb Jackson, portal. JT Lindsey, portal. Caden Durham, portal. All you got's Harlem Berry. Well, that's a tough spot to be in. And you know that Lane Kiffin loves to run the football. He laments last year, not this past season, the one prior to that when Ole Miss lost to Kentucky, Florida, and LSU, that they just didn't quite run it well enough to get where they wanted to go. And he thinks that's why they lost to Kentucky, Florida, LSU, and didn't reach the playoff when they had such a really good team with a great defense and good quarterback that went in the first round of the draft. And they changed that this year. They ran the heck out of it. Kejuan Lacey was sensational. But he wants to run the ball. So you got to address this. You got one guy. One. Well, you start to add. And you go to Charlotte and you add Rod Gainey. And you go to Utah and you get Racine Guillory. And those two guys are young, have a lot of tread left on the tires, but are on the smaller side and have not been collegiately productive. We talked about those guys when they came through. Like, yeah, Racine Guillory was a Texas commitment. Was one of the best players in the state of Texas in his class. He reclassified. He ended up at Utah. Didn't play a ton his freshman year. Now he moves down to Baton Rouge. Does he have some potential? Absolutely. Has he shown that in the college ranks? No. Same thing for Guillory at Charlotte? No. But you added depth. So now you've got Barry who comes back and those two guys as depth. Well, you need somebody that's got a little bit more physicality, somebody that brings a little bit more between the tackles potential, because Guillory and Gainey are smaller, look to be speed guys. Do you have anybody that, well, then you get Caden Durham back. Awesome. Caden Durham has shown he can run between the tackles. He can make some guys miss. I mean, the day he burst onto the scene at LSU was at South Carolina, and it wasn't like LSU's offensive line was blowing South Carolina off the ball that day. He forced 7 or 8 missed tackles. I forget the exact number on Pro Football Focus, but I wrote the story after it and remember that being a key stat. Like, he was breaking tackles, he was running physically, and he comes back for his 3rd season at LSU. He's not the biggest guy in terms of tipping the scales, but when you consider that he's a shorter back and he's a more stocky back, he is a more physical presence. And then you kind of rounded out your running back group today with the addition of Dylan Jones from Wisconsin. And when I say Wisconsin running back, you probably think, oh, is this dude like 230, like getting behind those pads? Well, that's a little bit of a bygone era. We're not talking Barry Alvarez, Brett Bielema anymore. It's not Ron Dane anymore that you're talking about. It's not Monty Ball that you're talking about. This is not exactly like that. But as I continue here, I saw Dylan Jones and went, okay, well, what's the story on this guy? So he came in as a top 10 running back in the country by ESPN, top 20 by the other services, a 4-star recruit from Maryland, and he went to Wisconsin. He redshirted in 2024, and he was their starting running back early this season. Had a nice game against Michigan, ran for over 60 yards and a touchdown. Same thing against a good Iowa team, over 60 yards. Then he had turf toe and missed the rest of the season, so he only played in 7 games this year. But as I look at his film, it doesn't look like he's on the smaller side. And 6 feet tall and 208 pounds is not an imposing physical back. But it's one of those, you know it when you see it, right? I turned on the film and I watched him run against Iowa and against Michigan. And it's authoritative and pads forward and downhill with sharp cuts. Like, he's got some ability. And so I think Harlan Berry is the lead back. I think Caden Durham's the second back. And I think that I probably favor Dylan Jones, the addition from today, ahead of Racine Guillory and Rod Gainey. But I'll tell you this unequivocally. That's all opinion, what I think that pecking order looks like. Unequivocally, what you have now is a 5-back running back room that does not have a senior and does not have a true freshman. So you've got 5 guys that theoretically could be here 1, 2, 3 years. And so that's a theme in this transfer portal class that I talked about a little bit yesterday, but the running back situation exemplifies that even more. It's not like this past year where you brought in guys who you knew were only going to be here for 1 year. You've actually laid a bit of a foundation. Now, candidly, I would be flatline stunned if all 5 of these guys were on the roster in 2027. Beyond stunned, right? That's not realistic. That wouldn't have even been realistic in a bygone era. Like, somebody would be leaving. Whether you want to call it process, whether you want to call it just transferring to transfer, whether Caden Durham went pro, or you're not going to have 5 guys come back at a single position. But you've created that opportunity. You've created that flexibility. You've created that depth. And it's not that you are going to, like, you don't feel like you're going to be in the same situation next January that you were in this January where everyone left at running back. The door is always open for that, but no, I think that you've kind of gotten a situation where you might have some stability in that room moving forward with Kevin Smith. And I think it's reasonably talented. Like, I think Harlem Berry's got huge upside. I like Caden Durham as SEC back. I'm not 100% certain he's been completely healthy. I don't think he's been super healthy since like September of his freshman year. But I like him as an SEC back, and I liked what I saw from Dylan Jones on that tape. Guillory's got potential. Gainey's got speed. There are options here, and I think it's reasonably talented. Kejuan Lacey's really good. So for me to sit here and say that you're in a better spot now than you would have been if Kejuan Lacey would have come here, that would be just an absolute lie. I think Kejuan Lacey will be the best back in the SEC next year. I think he's a star. But I think LSU has done a good job at running back of finding talent, finding depth, and not pigeonholing yourself with just a bunch of senior inserts that automatically have to come out after next year. Any of these guys that want to be back in 2027 can be, and I think that is a very healthy spot for your position to be. So hopefully Harlem Barron puts on 10 or 12 pounds. Hopefully Caden Durham gets healthy. Hopefully these three ads that you've added in from outside the program develop and become impactful players, and you've certainly got enough depth. I was concerned LSU just wasn't going to have the depth, and I wish they would have added somebody that weighed 225, 230 pounds just out of a stylistic need. But I like the way Dylan Jones ran, and I feel like Caden Durham is a pretty physical back, even if he's on the short side. So I think that Kevin Smith did a great job here. I think that LSU did a great job here. I think the running back position is very, very healthy. I don't mean that to be a sunshine pumping situation. I just lamented 1 hour ago the offensive line and where that stands. I think that's a significant issue. I'm very, very comfortable where LSU is at running back. I would file that away with where LSU is at wide receiver. I'm very comfortable with that. I'm very comfortable where they are at tight end. You're thin on depth at quarterback. You've got an injury at quarterback, and your offensive line has some issues. But the offense is trending in the right direction. If you catch a couple of breaks on the offensive line and recruiting and with your quarterback's health, then all of a sudden you've got the makings of a really nice first offense for Lane Kiffin. We all believe that Lane Kiffin's going to be a successful offensive coach here. Part of that's the running game, and I think they've done a really nice job with stocking the shelves at running back. Dylan Jones from Wisconsin is the ad from today. All right, I want to talk about a lot of things in the next segment. One, rule changes in college football. They're maybe doing away with the red shirt. Why? Talk about it. I want to talk about De'Don Thomas's availability for the LSU-Kentucky game. We'll do that. And then Trinidad Chamblas. Is he going to be back at Ole Miss? Said his waiver got denied. His attorney thinks that's not true. So I'll tell you what's been developing on that front of the last 24 hours. We'll do all that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. Lifetime Roofing. They're actively hiring at Lifetime Roofing, by the way. So if you're looking for a career, they're one of the only legitimate W-2 roofing companies in the entire state. That means if you're looking for a job that has benefits, that offers a 401k, that's a local company, that has a wonderful new facility on College Drive, that's got a growing, awesome team, Lifetime Roofing would love to employ you. So reach out to them at lifetimeroofingla.com and see if that'll work for you. If you're obviously on the homeowner end, you're looking for a roof, but think, well, I haven't had storm blow through or anything. Well, that's okay. They've got retail roofs, and they've got deductibles. We've got financing options for you, 0% up to 18 months. So if you need a new roof, whether you're trying to sell your home or not, check in and see what those financing options may look like for you at Lifetime Roofing. They want to help. They're part of this community. They serve this community. They've done roof giveaways for military folks in this community, and they want to help you with your roof. So check them out at lifetimeroofingla.com. It's Lifetime Roofing. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of jasmine or any other of our supreme American rice.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall. You gotta get up.
I want to spend a little bit of time here on Trinidad Chamblas and his eligibility. Tom Mars, his attorney, is just he's quite a character on social media. I don't think the disdain with which he writes and types against the NCAA is strong. It's palpable when you read. And he's fighting hard for Trinidad Chamblas. This is going to court. This is not an NCAA ruling. He's taking this to Mississippi court. And the thought process that he's got here is that Trinidad Chamblas was not given a medical red shirt for his tonsil issue that caused respiratory problems that didn't allow him to play because Ferris State didn't see the need to seek that path based on the D2 rules. The D2 rules allow you 10 semesters to play 4 seasons, and that's just the way things are set up. It's partial scholarships. It's not like the redshirt rules specifically in Division I. It's just a different world there. And this didn't appear to be an issue when he was still at Ferris State. You can always transfer from Division II up to Division I, and your eligibility carries over. And so, they didn't properly document it the way that an SEC team was because they don't play by the same rules. They do have some legal documents that have been brought forth by Tom Mars that suggest that Chamblas was dealing with medical issues. The NCAA said, hey, he's not dealing with medical issues. We don't have proper documentation. We're not just going to hand out 6 years to everybody. We don't want to do that because these college athletes now have significant incentive to stay in college. If you're really good, it is far more lucrative to be in college than it is to be in the professional ranks and just taking a swing at it. Yeah, if you're the 3rd pick in a draft, you'd rather do that. But if you're Trinidad Chamblas and you might be a 3rd round pick, I'd much rather stay at Ole Miss and make $5 million. So you're incentivized to stay as long as you can. And they're trying to put a stop to that. Just anybody for any reason saying, "Oh, I'll be back." Like, they're trying not to let that happen. So they're trying to take a hardline stance here. And it feels like Ole Miss is going to get one of two things, very possibly. I don't know if likely is the right word, very possibly. They're either going to get the courts to rule in Trinidad Chamblas' favorite because the courts don't like telling someone they can't earn money. And I guess you can suggest, well, he can earn money. He's just got to go do it with the Steelers instead of the Rebels. But they don't like to rule against guys making money. So that may happen. Or the other might be that they get a temporary restraining order or an injunction and say, hey, we're not ruling on this. It's the same thing that we talked about with the Wisconsin DB that transferred to Miami. And the Wisconsin said, hey, wait a second, we're suing them. And Miami said, well, sue all you want. We'll just get a legal team on it, and we'll run up legal fees and get a temporary restraining order, and we'll just play. And that's what they've done. And that's what Trinidad Chamblas might do. Say, well, we got a restraining order. The NCAA can't tell him he can't play. We'll figure this out when we figure it out. But by the time that they make a decision, he'll have already played in 2026. It feels like Ole Miss has some confidence that Trinidad Chamblas is going to be able to play next year. We'll see. It's fascinating. I don't want to get into the weeds of it, but I'll go back on that comment that I just said. I don't know that it is fascinating. I don't like talking about that kind of stuff. I'm not going to read everything that the attorney says or that the player says that the NCAA releases. I don't care that much about that. So while it's not fascinating to me, it's incredibly impactful because in all likelihood, not certainty, but in all likelihood, Trinidad Chamblas is a much better option for Ole Miss in 2026 than Deuce Knight. It's possible Deuce Knight's better. It's very unlikely. So they have every reason to make that happen. And if you're an LSU fan who plays Ole Miss in Oxford next year, early in the season, I might add. So the difference for LSU is playing a sixth-year senior Trinidad Chamblas at home at Ole Miss, or a second-year player. I don't even know if Deuce Knight redshirted this year, but a second-year player at Ole Miss who's in his first year with the school in his third game. Like, that's the difference. That's a big deal. So if you're an LSU fan and we're just talking about wins and losses, we're not talking about right and wrong, we're not talking about a young person earning $5 million or taking his chance on a practice squad. If you're just talking about LSU winning football games, it would be beneficial to LSU in all likelihood that Trinidad Chamblas does not get this waiver and does not get this lawsuit to go his way, or a temporary restraining order on the NCAA, or whatever may drag this out into next spring. That's the news from Ole Miss. Now, the other piece to this puzzle, which is a part of, it's not the Trinidad Chamblas thing, but it's a part of what I just alluded to a little bit earlier with the state of collegiate athletics. There's a thought of doing away with the red shirt. Right now, you can play 4 games, and if you play 4 games and stop, you can redshirt. And if you are a first-year player or a second-year player who's not playing a lot and has a redshirt year, it's financially beneficial to you to take that redshirt year, because then you add on to the other year that you can earn down the road. And if I'm not setting the world on fire as of October 3rd, and I don't feel like I'm going to be able to go to the market and get big money in the transfer portal this year based on my production this year, and it's October the 3rd, hey, coach, I'm going to sit the rest of the way. I know you were counting on me to be your backup nickel and to play on special teams for you, but I can't, because I'm probably not going to make big bucks next year because I'm not playing a ton and I'm not setting the world on fire. But I think if I take this year to sit out and I add it to my clock on the back end, one of those years, I'll hit it big. So I got to sit. And the coaches don't want that. And I understand why they don't want that. You're incentivizing guys who were in the plans to take themselves out of the plans. And so they're saying, don't do that. Make it 9 games instead of 4 games. Or do away with it altogether and just say, here's the deal, folks. You get 5 years to play 5 years. You can play as a freshman, sophomore, a junior, a senior, and a 5th year. You can play 5 years of college football. You can play 5 years of college basketball, play 5 years of college baseball. You cannot play 6. You get hurt twice, tough. 5 years to play 5. So everybody that's on the roster now cannot redshirt, they're playing. Because if you make it 9 and some guy plays in the first 9 and has the same thought process I just had a second ago and says, hey, wait a second, I'm not going to get big money this year. Maybe I will in 2 years. I'm out. I know it's November 15th. I know we got a big game coming up this week. Trying to make the playoffs. I know, but I'm not getting paid this offseason. So I got to sit. And you don't want that. Maybe it's a really good player who is going to get paid, but wants to get paid for an extra year. Because once you make it to where a senior in college is more valuable than a rookie in the NFL who's not a first-round pick, who's maybe a third-round pick, the incentive becomes to stay in college. So the thought is, well, we'll just take the red shirt away, and you got to play for us. You're on the team. You got to play. We're going to get you paid, but you got to play. 5 years to play 5. So that's another thought. And then in this grab bag segment that I'm doing here, let's talk about De'Don Thomas's availability briefly, and then we'll get to Sharif Ishaq. Doesn't sound like De'Don Thomas is going to play tomorrow. Matt McMahon went to his press conference today, said he's still day-to-day. They're going to ramp him up a little bit in practice, and it's certainly possible that De'Don Thomas plays tomorrow. We'll get the availability report coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. But I was hopeful with the extra day, because he didn't play on Tuesday or playing Wednesday this week, that he would come back. We didn't know anything, but I was hopeful. And I think with De'Don Thomas at home against this Kentucky team that's 10-6, that LSU would have a chance to win that game at home. And I still think they do. They have a chance. But you have a much better chance if De'Don Thomas plays. And so without him tomorrow, it looks dire. It's not impossible, but it looks dire. And then if you don't win on Wednesday, you got to come back with your entire season on the line on Saturday against Missouri. Like the whole season on the line. I talked about it yesterday. So we'll cross that road when we get to it a little bit later on, but I wanted to update De'Don Thomas's availability. Matt McMahon said today, still day-to-day, we'll see what the availability report. But if he was trending in the right direction, I feel like we would have gotten that inclination in the press conference today. That's a guess of my part. That's a hunch on my part. I'm still not 100% sure how Matt McMahon handles these availability reports so early on with them, but that's my sense. And to not have that is disappointing. So we'll see. LSU and Kentucky tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I'll be in the PMAC. I'll have a preview up tomorrow on LouisianaSports.net, and we'll certainly talk about it tomorrow. But it's, as I said yesterday, this is the biggest week in the Matt McMahon era. Biggest week. Have to find a way to get it done this week. If they do, you're okay. If they don't, it's real trouble. So we will see. Take a timeout. Come back with Sharif Ishaq talking Saints next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Of course, online, FabryChevrolet.com. The service department there at Fabry Chevrolet, service always makes. So no matter what you got, they are happy to help you out from a service perspective. If you're up there in New Roads in St. Francisville and the Felicianas up towards Woodville, Mississippi, and you want to stop in, you certainly can. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle in the first quarter here of 2026, why not make a short drive up to St. Francisville from Baton Rouge? Why not make that short drive up from Baker? And go see that incredible inventory that they've got at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They got your SUVs, the Chevy Tahoe, got the Chevy Suburban. They've also got your GMC Yukon, your Denali, another GMC. Great SUVs. Love to get behind the wheel of one of those. You get a great deal. You get great buying experience, great service after the sale at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You know the Fabry family. They've been at this for 35 years in Baton Rouge. You know you can trust them, and they're thrilled to have this new point up in St. Francisville on Highway 61. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can find them online at FabryChevrolet.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Got 30 minutes left to go here on this Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate y'all being with us. Appreciate Sharif Ishak for being with us on Tuesdays. Down there in New Orleans, WDSU, covering the Saints, covering the Pels. He's with us now. Sharif, how we doing?
Good. After yesterday's news, I'm really feeling better about our college and our university.
What makes you feel better?
That Sam Levitt is the starting quarterback of the team, at least this year. I like it a lot. And we have like 1 million receivers.
Yeah, there's a lot of receivers. They got about 13 of them. So I think they'll be just fine with pass catchers coming up in 2026. Speaking of pass catchers for the Saints in 2026, let's talk about that. Where are you on the Olave contract extension, and then where folks slot behind him on the current roster, not even focused on the draft at all?
All right, we're not talking draft. We're not talking free agency. So I would say that Olave is probably in the ballpark of the 4 for $120 million. That would be my guess. He's going to get paid his money. He had an awesome season. He was set to play all 17 until he had a blood clot in his lung for the final game. But look, he earned it. And it seems like he and Tyler Struck worked hand in hand. The chemistry was building and getting better, and those two guys made each other better. And I think that he's bought in. So I think the contract for him should be a nice one, a big one. To retain him is going to be big and beneficial for Kellen Moore, the entire offense of Tyler Struck. And behind him, I would say it's Bailey. Devon Bailey would be there, and then a lot of other question marks, man. Truly after that, you start asking yourself, who? Then who? Because this team needs pass catchers. They need playmakers all over the board. So that's where my 1 and 2 start. I mean, there's probably quite a few other guys who might be able to fill the holes and the voids, but I just think that the Saints need to start thinking of some pass catchers after those two guys, because it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting if those are your only two guys catching passes next year, and that's just how it is, man. I mean, they have Pettis, they have Austin, but I mean, those guys are just fourth, fifth string receivers. So is Mason Gibson. So not really that deep. I mean, include Juwan Johnson is pretty much a tweener too.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the point that I'm getting at, but I want to dig a little bit deeper on that. Is like, do you feel good enough from that tiny little sample size that Devon Vele is an adequate starting wide receiver option for the Saints?
Oh, absolutely. I do.
Okay.
I truly do. Whenever me and you discussed it early in the year, I was like, what in the world are they doing giving up a 4th and 7th round pick? And that's malpractice. But then you started to see it. And you started to see it by each game he played. I'm like, okay, he can get out there and play a little bit, and he had 25 catches on like close to 40 targets. He got hurt. But I think a lot of that production happened before he got hurt in the previous 2 or 3 games. So I see it. I see him as like that good possession receiver, goes over the middle of the field, contested catch type of guy, can get up there, third down type of guy. So that's a good sign. That's what they need, huh? But I still think they need a true number one. They need a true lockdown number one who can almost pretty much do it all. It needs a little size, needs to be able to have some speed and be able to like make some contested catches in traffic. So that's what they're missing. I think Olave is not a number one, but he has to play the number one because there is no like other choice. I think he's a high value 1B to me in terms of receiver. And no disrespect to him, because what he does at his size and what the talent he has, like to have 100 receptions, the career year this year, is amazing. That's what you expect from a first round pick. But I still think they need that true big number one.
Now, Jalen Polk is the other piece of this equation, who was once upon a time a 2nd-round pick. He was on IR all year, and you gave up a little bit of back-end draft capital for him. But how do you feel about where he potentially slots in?
I mean, he's also like in the top 3 for them, but also he's still not that. He's not that big of a guy. It's just not really that big. When you're asking me like 6'1", that's fine. 6'1", 200 pounds, still not that big. I'm still looking for that big guy. He's a speedster for sure, and they wanted him when he was coming out of Washington. I remember the draft process when he was coming out, and they just got him a few picks before the Saints made the pick. But I think they still need a big body. But if he comes back healthy, you add him with Vele and Olave, that's nice. It's really nice. But imagine if you can add another one like a Jordan Tyson or a Mekhi Lemon, to somebody like that. Then you have 4 very good receivers, but they truly need to add another piece in free agency or the draft.
So as we continue to talk receiver here, like in 10 simulations of first-round picks for the Saints, how many of those are you taking a wide receiver in?
Oh, look, man, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if Jeremiah Love is there and Tyson is still there, that's a good position to be in. Now, I know people say you never draft a running back that high. I mean, it worked out for the Giants for a while, it's working out for the Falcons, it's working out for the Lions, even though Gibbs is outside the top 10. But you have to take a look, man. You truly have to take a look. Alvin's coming up in his last year. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 next year. And then there's no one really like reliable behind him. It's just a bunch of good backups in Devin and Kendrick Miller can't stay healthy. So you got to think about that position as well. But if I have a chance to have Tyson or Love, that's a good thing. It's a good decision to try to make. It's a tough place to be, but it's a good decision. But to me, I'm going to take probably Jeremiah Love before I take a receiver. And that sounds crazy, but then you have a playmaker who can catch and who can run.
Here's the well, let me ask this question first. I have a bad question to ask after this better question. How much impact do you think Kellen Moore has in that draft conversation? How much of it is Loomis, Ireland, and that team? We feel like Sean Payton carried a pretty big baseball bat around that draft room. Where do you feel like the power is right now in the Saints organization?
I'm starting to think. I still think that Kellen has some say, because they drafted some like playmakers for him. After they got Banks, they got everything else around Banks to kind of like help Kellen. A Shuck move was a good move. They get him a running back in Devanio. They get some playmakers in Sanker and Riley. So I think he had some influence. I think his influence is going to be much bigger this time around. If he goes in, he's going to tell Mickey, hey, look, it's cool if you guys have drafted so many offensive defensive linemen, but I need to get my guy, Tyler, some help. And I think the best way to get help on offense is through the draft, so we don't have to pay premium dollar and free agency for playmakers. We should just sign guards in free agency, and we go after playmakers whenever we're talking about the draft. So I think he's going to have a pretty good influence this time around.
And then the bad question. Would you get Tyler Shuck's opinion?
Oh, that's not a bad question. I would think that's an amazing question. I mean, the dude is 26 years old. He's played a lot of college ball, played design games. I'd ask him, I'm like, hey, what would make you feel comfortable, a little bit more comfortable in this offense, in this draft process? Because there are a lot of these players he's probably seen in his time in college. And I think it'd be smart to pick his brain. I like the idea of Kellen and Tyler working together with the front office. That's how the dream works, man. Working together, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, and I think that's a smart idea if they all come together. Because I think Kellen had a good influence on that 25 draft. So I think 26 a little bit more influence. So I definitely would try to get Tyler's influence or a little bit of picking his brain about like what should happen.
Where's your brain with the Saints for the next couple of weeks here?
Well, get through. I guess they got to get
playoffs.
through
The playoffs have to end.
The playoffs. So they're probably getting ready for Senior Bowl, which is going to happen in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to go there like they usually do. We got to remember, they take a lot of players. In their draft, they take a lot of players from the Senior Bowl. So it's a heavy influence of their picks come from the Senior Bowl. So I think they're going to have a lot of close eyes on some of those players in the Senior Bowl. Then they move ahead with their free agency and take a look at positions of need. And we all know, Hunt, they need some guards on that team. So they're going to go through that process, and then eventually they'll get into the draft process. But I think the most important process for them needs to be free agency. I get like you have to take the Senior Bowl because that's the beginning of essentially your draft process. They got to take that seriously, but I think the free agency market needs to be a close eye because they need some guards in a very bad way.
And they've never been able to go into the front end of free agency because you're always $120 million over the salary cap. So not that they're in a perfect financial position, but it's different than it usually is. So we'll see how this front office operates. I would imagine tenor's a little bit different this year than it has been in quite some time because the situation, the organization is quite different. Sharif, last question here. Is any positivity that was being cultivated with the Pelicans been extinguished?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It's so awful, man. It is awful. It's at full health, pretty much. They're close to being full healthy, and it's still bad. It's just a bunch of pieces that don't work together on a team. It just really isn't. I mean, you got like some talented players. They don't gel. They don't have chemistry. The guard play is sloppy. No true big man. Derek Queen really isn't a true big man. He's just a power forward who's an athletic power forward. He can shoot. He can drive. He needs to work on his dribbling. But Zion's playing better. Trey's playing better. It just doesn't work all together. So this offseason is going to be interesting. I want to see which pieces get moved this offseason because all the indications is they're not moving anybody by the February 5th trade deadline. So that's why they're 9-32.
Yep, got 3 weeks to go. We shall see. Sharif, we appreciate some time. We'll talk next week.
You got it, bud. See you next Tuesday.
Sharif Ishak, WDSU, down there in New Orleans, covering the black and gold. Look, it's a new year. Want to kickstart 2026 with some wellness goals. How about being SMART? And that's an acronym. Specific. Be specific with your goals. Measurable. Be able to measure your weight loss goals. Keep them achievable. Don't go nuts. Do something you can figure out. That's your A. R, realistic, and T in your time frame. Make sure it's something you can achieve and set some time frame goals. There's some tips that Ochsner wants to help you out with. How to boost weight loss early in 2026. Hydrate early. Drink water or electrolytes before your coffee. Get some protein in your system before 10 o'clock in the morning. Plan meals. Make sure you're not scrambling to try to get something to eat that can lead to some bad choices. Get your meals planned. Check the labels. Look at sugars and oils that can sneak in really quickly. Get some sunlight in the morning. Get your day rolling a little bit. It helps regulate your energy and your hunger. Prioritize good sleep. That'll keep the metabolism going. It depends on good sleep. And practice a little mindfulness. Set your intentions and reduce your stress eating. Be consistent, because progress comes from repetition, not perfection. Those are all some Kickstart wellness goals from our friends over at Ochsner. Come back, close it out. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. It's a tough time to work on your golf game. It's cold outside a lot of the time. It gets dark very early. Water gets on the ground. It gets damp. It's just not a great time to go find a driving range. But Swing Easy Golf Club can solve those problems for you. Go into Swing Easy, set that driving range setting up, and work on your game. There's some really impressive technology in there on their golf simulators. You can see the path of your golf ball. You can see where your club impacts the ball. You can see if you're out on the toe, if you're catching it on the heel. You can see your carry distances. You can see that ball speed as well. Get it dialed in so when spring rolls around, your golf game is ready. You can do it over at Swing Easy on an individual private bay. No elements. You can crank up the music, have a couple of cold beers, watch some football, watch TV in one of your bays. Swing Easy Golf Club, they're on Segan at Perkins. A great place to, one, go hang out, which I tell you about all the time, but you can work on your game as well. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. They're online, swingeasygcbr.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, busy day here on this Tuesday. Another reminder, Court to Table Sports Trivia tonight, 8 o'clock. Looking to get out of the house, have some fun, win some gift cards, win some free pickleball reservations. You can do it at Court to Table. Grab a team, come by yourself. Great drinks, great food over there at Court to Table. 8 o'clock, usually out of there before 9:20, generally speaking. So looking forward to getting out there tonight. It's on Burbank. If you have not been, I invite you to come on out. If you have, come on back. 8 o'clock, Court to Table on Burbank for sports trivia tonight. All right, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Okay, so this one kind of got ruined by all the ESPN people and whatnot. So Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin is stepping down after 19 seasons in Pittsburgh. Sources told ESPN Jeremy Fowler and Adam Schefter with Tomlin's departure, the Steelers will begin the search for just their fourth head coach since 1969. So is Tomlin doing the right thing by stepping away? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
That's a great run. Obviously, incredibly well compensated throughout that run. Got a Super Bowl. Never had a losing season.
Never.
And maybe just time to step away. I just think so. I think that it's probably behooves the Steelers to try to get somebody young and dynamic to come do something completely different. I've said this a bunch. The odds are the next guy is worse than Tomlin.
Oh, without a doubt.
Those are the odds.
Yeah.
But the odds that Tomlin has some sort of renaissance and the Steelers go on some incredible run doesn't feel very good either. And isn't that the goal, to go win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And they're getting crushed in the playoffs every year. They look terrible they look awful last night. So CJ Stroud looked awful. CJ Stroud can't play worse than he played, and they still lost by 50.
Yeah.
So I just go try to do something different, and don't have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback either.
Are we sure CJ Stroud can catch a snap? I think I've never seen
the interception he threw in the red zone looked like a 6-year-old trying to play quarterback, contorting his body and wildly just throwing it. I don't know what he was doing. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
And they still beat the Steelers by a lot in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No, that's actually a great point, Hunt.
Time to go.
Because if you would have told me CJ Stroud had money on FanDuel, I would have believed you last night.
It was ugly. Couldn't catch the ball, throwing picks.
Catch a snap.
That's Texans defense, though. Woo, buddy.
My goodness. Now you see why they had to bench Phillip Rivers. So the Arizona Diamondbacks are acquiring third baseman Nolan Arenado from the St. Louis Cardinals in exchange for right-handed pitcher Jack Martinez. So are the Cardinals getting worse? Take it or leave it.
You will take it. The Cardinals are covering 34 of the $41 million owed to Nolan Arenado and sending him out of town.
Woo.
They're just getting worse by the year. They already sent Wilson Contreras up to Boston. They're tearing it down, and you love to see it. Biggest dorks in the league. Going to be probably third or fourth place team. That's just the way it's going to go. Meanwhile, the Cubs, best team in the division. Love to see it.
You putting your flag down right now?
Yes, I am. And the Brewers have a way of making me look like a fool because they never have anybody good. They win the division every year. It's not going to happen this year. We're better. We're just significantly better. We're going to beat the Brewers.
Okay. All right. Hey, somebody clip that right now. I'm saying it on January 13th.
By the way, you're the producer. You can clip it. That's called assigning yourself work.
Hey, look, I will do it. I'm going to keep that, matter of fact. Okay, so, yeah, you're the producer, bro. You clip it. So, Anthony Davis is sidelined for several months with a torn ligament in his hand. Since joining the Mavericks last February, Davis has had 18 different injuries in 11 months. Did Nico Harrison have the vision? Take it or leave it.
Leave it. I almost put a tweet out. The ESPN official account was like, Anthony Davis going to have surgery on his hand, missed multiple months. And I was like, this has got to be a parody account, right?
Yeah.
No, that's just, he just gets hurt a lot. That was a poor decision among all poor decisions.
I think we got to say it's the top 3 poor decision in sports of all time at this point.
It's really hard to fathom. But, I mean, and I honestly don't know because everyone's got to pick their lane into what they're paying attention to in sports. You can't pay attention to everything, despite what ESPN tries to do with Mike Greenberg and Stephen A. Smith and put them on everything they possibly do. You can't truly pay attention to everything that's going on. Where is Nico now? Is he still?
No, he's fired. They fired
I'm
him.
sure he did. Okay, I wouldn't know.
I
can't name Sam Presti's all I got on GMs, and of course my guy Joe Dumars down in New Orleans,
Sleepy Joe.
But yeah, I can't tell you, but that's not surprising. That was a poor decision and one that he will likely regret for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he will be in infamy for the rest of his life. I don't even think he can go to the state of Texas at this point. Like, it's just a no-fly zone. So, yeah, 18 different injuries in 11 months. Anthony Davis, 1-on-1. So that's it for take it or leave it.
Davis. I mean, he feels like he's 100. I know he's not. They won that championship in like 11.
2012. I was 12 years old, yes.
Yeah, so that was 14 years ago. He's not ancient, but he's old.
His body.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, look, good go, but bad trade. Can't be trading that for Luka. So, look, if you missed any of our show today, catch it on demand. A lot of LSU football talk the entire first hour. Well, the first 45 minutes at least was LSU football talk. I talked about LSU's current offensive line and what they could do to supplement that. You can find that on YouTube, on LSU, or you find your podcast as well. I like LSU's big play potential with Kiffin, Levitt, and these wide receivers. All of their track records suggest they're really good at making big plays, and I went into some numbers on that at 115. Glenn West was with us at 130. LSU baseball, number 2 in the D1 baseball preseason poll. We played some Aaron Fitz sound there to what the guys think of this LSU team. You can find that at the end of hour number 1. LSU adds Dylan Jones. Catch that at Hunt on LSU. He's a running back from Wisconsin. Did that at straight up 2 o'clock. And then Sharif Ishak talking Saints at 2:30. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Appreciate y'all for hanging with us. Hope to see you at Sports Trivia tonight. Maybe not tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Matt's going to drive you home on AFR.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better